Okay, so for this video, we'll be having a crash course lesson on Microsoft Excel. So just to review Microsoft Excel. So first, let's open Microsoft Excel. So using the start button, I just type Excel, and then here's Microsoft Excel. So I just click on this to open Microsoft Excel. So I have here now my worksheet. So this is actually a workbook, so we have several worksheets here. And it is composed of rows and columns. So the rows and columns, so the columns are labeled from A to Z, and then AA to AZ up to the last column, which is XFD. And rows are from 1 to 1,048,576. So that's the number of rows and columns we have. Now, what we have above here is what we call ribbons. So we have the home ribbon, and the home ribbon we have here on the home ribbon usually what we do for editing. And we'll be discussing as some of these ribbons as we encounter them. So basically, we have rows and columns, and each intersection of a row and column is called a cell. So to start with, how do we enter labels? So to enter labels, we just move our pointer using arrow keys or using the mouse. We can move our pointer to the desired position. So let's say I would like to place here the word products. So just type the word products, and then you can press enter key, or you can use the arrow keys to move outside, to move or to exit from that cell. Now you can also adjust the width of a column by placing your mouse pointer on that particular position, so at the edge of a column, and then you can drag to adjust the width of a column. So let's say here I'm going to place here several products. Let's say Tide, Surf, Ariel, Joy. Let's say I have here 4 products. And then here, let's say I have here the months. So January. Now, we have here also predefined list. So after typing January, you notice that at the bottom of this, or at the lower right corner of this cell, or this cell pointer, we have a handle. So we can actually drag that handle. So using a mouse, you can drag that handle. So to this part, then release your mouse, and it will automatically fill the cells with the corresponding values or months for this example. Actually, Excel has predefined list. So if what you type is a part of the list, then the values will be automatically placed by Excel. So that's how we enter labels. Now, how do we enter numbers? So again, for labels, just type the label and then you press enter key. How do we enter numbers? So to enter numbers, we just type the number itself also, just like what we do with labels. So let's say, for example, I have here 145. And here, let's say I have here 210. And here I have 180. Enjoy, let's say 315. Oh, sorry, so but just press backspace. So just type the number, and then that's it. So we have here now the values. Assuming now that I'm going to get here the totals, so I'm going to type here totals. So just type totals. Assuming that I'll be getting the sum of these values. So what will be my formula? So one way is to use to press first equal. So again, if you're typing a formula, you start with equal sign. You can also use @ or plus, but I prefer, or I recommend that you use the equal symbol. So equal to, and then you can specify the address of the cell. Let's say, for example, tide, the value for tide is 145, is actually placed at cell B4. So look at the column, it is at column B and it is at row 4. So the address of that value is B4. So I can also use up arrow key to refer to that particular cell. So you notice that the address is B4. And then I'm going to click plus, that's my operator. And then B5 plus B6 plus B7. So enter, I have now the total of the values. So that's how we get, or that's how we use arithmetic operators. So plus is used for addition, the hyphen is used for subtraction, asterisk is used for multiplication, and of course slash is for division. So these are the operators that we can use. We can also use the caret symbol. Wait, I'll be typing those things. Maybe in the notepad. So what are the arithmetic operators? So we have, of course, plus for addition, the hyphen for minus sign for subtraction, slash for division, asterisk for multiplication, and then the caret symbol is for exponentiation. So these are the symbols that we can use in creating formulas. Now similarly, instead of typing the formulas, there are actually built-in formulas or built-in functions that we can use. So I'll be replacing this one. So I'll be deleting that. So how do we delete? We just place the cell pointer to the particular cell and then just press the delete key. So that's it. I have now deleted my entry. So I can also use a function equal to, and then sum. Sum is actually a function. So sum is a function, open parenthesis, and then I can specify the addresses. So you place your mouse pointer on the first cell, and then pressing the shift key, you can extend the selector. So I have, B4 colon B7, or we can read that maybe as B4, from B4 to B7. That's actually a range. Now what is a range? A range is actually a rectangular portion in our worksheet. And to specify a range, we just specify the address of the upper left cell followed by a colon, and then the address of the lower right cell. Now in this particular example, we have a single column, so the address will be the address of the upper cell and colon, and then the address of the lower cell. So that's B4 colon B7. It's partially covered by, but you can see here on the formula bar. Here's my formula bar. So that's the formula. So sum of B4 to B7. So once I press enter key, so it will give me the sum. So let's try to practice a little bit. So let's say, for example, here is my formula for the sales. Let's say this is just a sales projection, that for every month, sales is projected to increase by 5%. So that means that the sales for current month is equal to sales of previous month plus 5% of the sales of previous month, or we can also multiply that at 1.05. So 1 is 100%, but we increase by 5%, so we just add 0.05. So sales for the current month is equal to the sales of the previous month times 1.05. So let's go back. Let's say the sales for February is equal to, oh wait, let me make my font bigger. So the sales for February is equal to the sales of the previous month. So that's the sales for January multiplied by 1.05. Wait, wrong. 1.05. So the sales for February is equal to the sales of the previous month multiplied by 1.05. So that will now be my value. And let's say we have uniform formula for all of the products. So what will I do is to copy that formula. Now, how do we copy formulas in Excel? So we just, you notice here that we have here a handle below or at the lower right side of the cell pointer. So all you have to do is to drag. So if, let's say, your cursor turns into a plus symbol, a narrow plus symbol, so that particular symbol, that one, then that means you are now on the on that particular handle. So what we have to do is to drag that handle until where you want to copy the formula. So once I release my button, then that's it. I have now copied my formula. So here you can see my formula here. It's B4 times 1.05 here. It's B5 times 1.05. Here it's B6 times 1.05. It's B7 times 1.05. So it is copied relatively. Now, let's say I have the same formula for the rest of the month. So I can also copy this formula. So the same method. So I can copy this formula up to December. Oops. Wait. And then copy that formula. So I have 4 products up to this part. So I have here now my formulas. Let's say I would like to have only whole numbers. So I can select. How do we select? So just select the first cell, then drag your mouse pointer to select several cells. Then I have selected that range. Then I would like to decrease, or first, decrease the number of decimal places. But let me first increase so that they will have uniform number of decimal places, and then decrease. So I have here now all whole numbers. And let's say I would like to get a sum for each column. So since I already have here my formula, I can just copy this formula from this range up to the last range. So I have here now my formula. So let's say I would like also to decrease and then decrease. Oh no, that's increase, decrease. So that's now my total. And I would like to get the total also per row. So I can place here totals. So I can type the formula equal to sum, open parentheses, and then using arrow keys or using your mouse, you can move to January. Then shift arrow keys to select. So that's B4 to M4, and then close parentheses, enter. So I have now my total. So what's next? I copy the formula. I can copy this formula So again, sorry, I'm not using a mouse, that's why. Then drag. So I have written the total per column. This is the overall total. So that means 13,530 units will be projected to be sold for the whole year. Of course, we can format. So we can use these formatting symbols here. Let's say I would like to change the background color of my values. So let's say, for example, I would like to select this, so I can use mouse or the arrow keys, and then I can change, for example, background color. Change that color. Let's say I would like to change this color also. Something blue. So you can change one to boldface. So that's boldface. This one also boldface. And you can also use borders. So how do we use borders? You can use this symbol for borders. For example, so I have written down my borders. So it's up to you to format your worksheet. So let's say, for example, I have to make some changes with my formula. So how do I edit? Just place your mouse pointer. For example, I want to edit this value. So there are several ways to edit a value. One is to retype the whole entry, or you can also press F2 and then make the changes. So let's say this is 147 instead. Or you can double click. Sorry. You can double click. Sorry, I cannot double click there. So double click, and then you can make the necessary changes. So that's how you edit. So what we have done here for this crash course is how to enter labels, how to enter formulas, how to format cells, how to adjust width, how to format cells, colors, format numbers, how to copy entries, how to type formulas, and how to edit entries. So more or less, these are the topics that we have covered in this particular video. So thank you very much for viewing this video. By the way, to save, let us save. So we just click on file and then save or save as. So let's say this is our example 01. So thank you very much for viewing this video.